This program is brought to you by Pussy Magnets.
Put a man on your friend with a pussy magnet.
Welcome, welcome, my lovely lumps. Or maybe let's go with lovely labs. That's pretty on brand. Anyway, I'm so thrilled to have you here in the Labia Lounge. We're going to be yarning about all things sexuality, intimacy, womanhood, relating, holistic health, and everything in between. We're going to have vag loads of real chats with real people about real shit. So buckle up because you're about to receive the sex ed that you never had and hopefully have a bit of a chuckle while you're at it. Before we get stuck in, I'd like to respectfully acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I'm recording this, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. It's a massive privilege to be living and creating dope podcast content in Naarm, and I just want to pay my respects to their elders past, present, and emerging. Now, if you're ready, let's flap and do this.
Don't panic, you're not broken. Your sex education was a piece of shit. Get your flaps out and pull up a couch. It's the Labia Lounge.
Hey gang, just before we jump into this episode, I wanted to offer you an opportunity to access my new mini course for free before I start charging for it in future. It's for people with vulvas and it's quick to complete. It's all about demystifying the female body and pleasure anatomy and getting some basic fundamentals to understand your body better. It's called Pussy Pleasure Secrets, Your Roadmap to Bedroom Bliss. You can grab it on the freebies page of my website or in the show notes. It's a great little free resource to kind of dip your toe in or act as a bit of a taster for my work. So if you've ever been curious about this sort of thing and you just don't know where to start, or you want a really quick, easy, accessible, non-threatening way to get the ball rolling and start working on this stuff, this is a great place to start. Hello, my labial legends. Welcome back to the lounge. I'm tickled pink today. I'm in fact wearing a bit of pink because I'm so fucking tickled. But I've got Heb Murphy, aka Heb on the web, who is a comedian, writer, actor, and creator from Seattle, Washington, now based in LA. When she's not streaming her songwriting process on Twitch, holy shit, that's vulnerable. I want to talk about that. Hosting her podcast, Heb Hangs, or mining ores in Stardew Valley. You can probably catch her cuddling her pup, Rocky, hiking with friends, or camping by the ocean. Heb is currently developing her own TV show. Either way, it's toast, and has recently worked with Patreon, REI, Peacock, and the LA Phil. Holy shit. Heb, welcome. Pull up a clit cushion. Very excited to have you.
Thank you so much. You said pull up a what?
A clit cushion.
What is that? What is a seat?
It's kind of because we're on the Labia Lounge, you know.
Yes.
On the Labia Lounge. Clit cushion, like a clitoris cushion. I don't know. It's just a labial, vulval reference. Sometimes
I love it.
Say.
I love it. It's like pull up a seat.
Actually, yeah, pretty much. Pop up your flaps. That's that's in the jingle. So
that's so good.
I actually think you would love. Speaking of because you're so creative when it comes to like making fun little songs and jingles and things. I think you would love the Labia Lounge jingle. Highly recommend having a quick listen to that when you get off because I made it myself. And
it's embarrassing that I didn't do more research before being here. It's embarrassing and I'm sorry. And like I was telling my boyfriend that I was going to be on here and he was like listening. I don't know what episode, but he was listening to it. He's like, oh, wow, this is really interesting. I'm like, not you like doing a better job researching than me. I was just like, I literally saw your email. You were like, this is what the podcast is about. I was like, sounds fucking cool. It's on this day at this time. Let's do it. And like, didn't really question it further. But yes, I'm sorry. I will go back and study up. And I'm sure the jingle is awesome. I love a jingle.
Oh, babe, so no need to apologize. I completely get it. I've been in that position so many times where I've been like, oh my God, it's embarrassing how little like prep and research I did. I kind of just rocked up not really knowing. Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of fucking plates in the air, babe. It's so understandable. I was just so stoked you even agreed to like be on this potty because like just for the listeners out there, if you haven't heard of Heb, she's kind of a big deal. Like a lot of followers, guys.
I'm working on it. We're trying.
But speaking of like, you know, the juggle and capacity and having enough spoons to like, you know, do a million different little projects and tasks and appearances and making content and all of that. Like, I mean, we were just talking before we hit record about being a one woman show. I so deeply resonate with the struggle of the juggle, which I just coined then, and it actually perfectly, you know,
it was perfect.
Encapsulates what it's like.
It was perfect.
How the fuck do you do it, babe? Like, honestly, you're simultaneously a Twitch streamer, a comedian, a podcaster, TV developer now, brand partner, Stardew Valley diehard, you know, and like from what I can tell, like, and, you know, I will also admit I haven't done as much research as I could. I probably saw 1 or 2 videos and I was like, holy fuck, I love this. Like, I'm inviting her on. But yeah, you seem like a bit of an all-round intersectional feminist bad bitch, you know, among many other things. And like wearing that many hats, like it is, for me, I feel fucking nuts, like at least 50% of the time. And I feel like the other 50%, I'm just barely hanging on by the skin of my teeth, trying not to have a fucking breakdown. Like what's your experience like holding all those threads at once, you know, also treading the path less trodden in terms of like building your career and the choices you're making? Like, that's got to be a whole thing, right?
It's a whole thing for sure. It's a whole thing. Like, I mean, for one, I'm medicated. I'm on like 3 different medications for brain shit so that I am able to function even at just a base level, like taking care of myself and whatever, so that I can do these things. And then it's honestly, it feels a bit like a battle with my brain every day, because I'm like, I know what I want to be doing. I know where I want to head and what direction I want to go in. But, you know, sometimes everything in me is there's a difference between listening to my body telling me that it's time to rest, and then I can tell when it's like self-sabotage or just anxiety, overthinking, like I'm scared of this not being good, so I don't want to do it or whatever. So literally it's just a battle daily to push through that noise. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I do it anxious, or I am able to shake the anxiety before I do something. And then other times I don't fucking do my dishes that are sitting in my sink for a week, you know, because like I just like, maybe I'm streaming and I'm enjoying streaming and I just like cannot get myself to do something like that. So, you know, I kind of feel like I can't do everything all the time, and I'm accepting that. And so I'm enjoying the waves. If it's like day by day or week by week, month by month, like, oh, I'm really into this right now, let me lean into this. And then a couple weeks later, I'm like really into this thing, let me lean into that. But I don't want to just abandon all my old projects. So I try to like circle back to them, circle back on Monday to the old projects. Cause I mean, I'm really just trying to find the joy and trying to work with my brain enough so that I can do these things that bring me joy. And I guess not stopping, because what other option is there if not this path? Honestly, I don't think there is another option. I literally just have to keep going. Unfortunately and fortunately, that's the days where I'm like, oh my God, like, can we be done, please? Like, haven't we done enough? I'm like, okay, yeah, but then what else? What else am I going to do? Nothing. So I guess I'll just keep doing this.
Oh, that is so painfully relatable. Like, yes, it's like, well, we've come this far. I've created my life around these things and I've fucking really committed to the bit. So like, what else would I do at this point? You know, fortunately and unfortunately, like I really, really relate to that statement.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a lot.
Yeah. The committing to the bit is real. It's like, I'm mostly just curious at this point. I'm just like, how far can this go? What will happen if I just keep going? Like, I just need to find out.
I love it.
I'm too nosy.
I'm curious too. Too nosy. Well, I guess if you like, I really like that, you know, that sort of lens that some people look at things through, which is like, yeah, it's a bit of an experiment, really. Like, I'm just going to put one foot in front of the other and, you know, sort of meander along this path and like get curious about how far I can go with it, and what opportunities are going to arise next, what other doors are going to open, and then what parts of myself am I going to unlock or explore. And that curiosity is really just such a dope way to kind of look at things. Like, you know, it's a bit of a social experiment. But yeah, I know personally I definitely get pretty bogged down like a lot of the time, because it does feel like a very difficult path, at least for me, like to have chosen. It feels like a lot of my friends are like, oh, you really do life on hard mode. Like you could do the thing that's like in your comfort zone, or you could do the thing that's definitely going to result in you being financially stable. But no, you've gone and done the most absolutely out of pocket left of field fucking thing, and you're trying to make a living out of it while also retaining your like zest for life and your creativity, and like trying to fucking do those dishes that have been stacked up for the last week.
Yes.
So like, yeah, I don't know, like how what like messaging did you receive growing up, or like maybe messaging like currently the people you're surrounded with when it comes to your creative pursuits and the choices and the way you show up in the world? Because like personally, I kind of feel like my creativity was like crushed out of me, and I've been told like so much from so young, like, oh, you can't do that, or you won't be able to make money from that, or you know, you won't be successful at that. And I feel like it hasn't stopped me from pursuing the shit that I'm passionate about and dreaming big and taking risks, but it has stopped me from maybe deep down believing it's possible. And so now there's this tension between like, well, I'm still giving it a bash, but part of me believes I'm always going to fail because I've been told I'm always going to fail. And so now I'm kind of stuck in this like, you know, survival mode where I'm still doing the things, but I'm definitely suffering as a result of like the inconsistency and the instability and the uncertainty and the money shit. So that's just me oversharing, but like I'm asking because I'm so curious how, you know, someone can just have the tenacity and the perseverance to keep going. Like, were you nurtured in that? Like, what messages did you receive?
Yeah, I think a lot of people get the messaging that you got. Like, there isn't a career in this. Do some, like, maybe go to college, follow the more traditional path. I don't know where my doubts came from, because I feel, first of all, just hearing you talk, I'm like, are we the same person? I feel really similarly about like, you know, choosing the life on hard mode and having financial instability because we value being creative over stability right now. And it's like, but it would be awesome to have that. But it's like, I'm not willing to sacrifice these things in order to get that at this point in time. My parents were very supportive of anything that we wanted to do, which was nice. It also meant that whenever I wanted to quit something, because I was like interested about something else, they were like, cool, sure, whatever. So I ended up quitting a lot of stuff too. And I kind of wish like I stuck to things more when I was younger. But also, can you hear this helicopter that's circling outside?
No.
Okay, great. I love this mic. But yeah, so they were supportive. But honestly, I don't think that I would have found, well, I'm not sure if I would have found this creative life. Definitely not in the way that I have if it weren't for my brothers, because I have two older brothers. Everyone in my family actually is creative in some way. Like my mom was a professional Christian singer when we were growing up. So I was raised in the church, and then like doing music in the church and stuff like that. So like I was exposed in that way. And then I have two older brothers who also did music, and I just wanted to be just like them because they were my older siblings. So, and like, I would just do whatever they said. And so they started doing music and writing songs and stuff. And then, so I just wanted to be like them. And so I started writing songs, and I went from a very seemingly normie life. It was interesting because it felt like I was doing the thing that I was supposed to be doing. Like I was school president and on varsity volleyball and like was in the jazz band. Like I was doing all the things, and I was in choir and joining the clubs. I was so like normie in that way. But then when it came down to like actually applying for college and stuff like that, it just never really lined up. It just wasn't really making sense to me. I didn't understand the process. I didn't really understand why I was going. And so I kind of just have been doing what feels good and natural this whole time ever since I graduated. Fucking holy shit, 12 years ago now? That is crazy. I just turned 30, so I keep having these like crises. Even though I love being 30, I'm still like, what are you talking about? I graduated 12 years ago. That's crazy. I can't even remember what the fuck I was saying now.
You kind of just put like sort of followed the natural like next obvious step, and it led you away from the normcore and into the kind of quirky creative lifestyle.
Yes, totally. And yeah, it's the life that I'm grateful I chose for sure, because like it's so vibrant and abundant and beautiful, and I have like awesome people in my life. And then also sometimes when I see my friends who have a 9-to-5 or they went to college and they got a degree in the field they wanted, you know, part of me gets jealous, but then I talk to them and they have struggles and regrets and all those things as well. So like they have those things, but you know, I've had not all of them obviously, but I've had friends tell me that they're a little bored or they feel trapped in the place that they like settled down and bought a house. And I'm not anywhere fucking near buying a house. I can barely afford my rent. So then I'm just like on the other end of the spectrum where I'm like, I'm just kind of worried about my housing in general, you know? Yeah. But we make it every month. We make it by the skin of our teeth.
Yeah, I so resonate with that. Like feeling, I definitely didn't used to feel envious of, you know, my friends or family who have gone down the more conventional path and like done the 9-to-5 and the house and all of that. And I was quite smug about my own choices. Yes. That was before, you know, I mean, I'm 35 now, so I've been at it for a while, and God, I would fucking love to know what it feels like to be bored and to have like, you know, being able to just stay living in the one spot for more than fucking 12 months and to not be worried about landlords and rental inspections and fucking, you know, just housing, just literally that one fucking thing. Housing would be such a game changer. And then on top of that, just like the amount of, and this is kind of getting deep and a bit personal, but maybe you can relate to this. I feel like the amount of like health things, mental health and physical health things that I can't totally blame on my, you know, my self-employed path, but I feel like definitely have been exacerbated by chronic stress and like survival mode and, you know, not having stability and routine. So much like, you know, chronic health challenges and mental health challenges have, you know, been fucking expensive. And it's like housing is one thing, and God, I would just love to have like a normal job so that I could pay for like regular therapy and osteopathy for my chronic pain and fucking, you know, all of these things that, I feel like have added to the burden. And yeah, I'm actually at this point really jealous of my normcore friends. And yet, you know, kind of in one sense, I wouldn't have it any other way, because like, God, like you said, life has been vibrant, life has been interesting. There's never been a dull moment. But I feel like I've kind of hit a point of like intense burnout over the last few years, and some have posited that maybe I'm even in autistic burnout, because there's been some serious skill regression, and, you know, Biddy can't cook for herself anymore in the same way that I used to.
Same.
And I'm like, yeah. So like,
it's so hard to cook for yourself. It's so hard.
I used to be a freaking cook. I was literally a trained cook. It was my thing. It was my role in my friendship groups. I would put on these dinners. I would cater. I fucking loved cooking. And now I can't even fucking make toast half the time. And it's like, oh, okay, maybe doing life on hard and choosing to pursue my passions and creativity. And with my trajectory, it's really been about like helping people and creating social change and like living a very purpose-led, heart-led kind of life where every career decision I make is like, cool, how can I help more people and impact things more? But like,
the sacrifice that I'm realizing in recent years, you know, that has actually been occurring without me maybe being fully aware, is pretty enormous. And I'm like very much in this existential crisis moment of like, fuck, is it worth it? And like, is it going to get easier? Because I don't know how much longer I've got in me. You know, I'm like, maybe I do just get a normcore job, but oops, I've niched down in such a really fringe area that I actually don't have any fucking skills that anyone would hire me for. So I have to be self-employed.
Yes, it's like I can do so many random little things. If you happen to need a camp counselor who can make a TikTok and write you an article, like, but I'm not like 100% well versed in any of these areas, but I can like do a pretty good job everywhere. I absolutely feel that. Honestly, getting a part-time job has been mostly, I was going to say a blessing and a curse, mostly a blessing, but I have felt a lot of the time, a lot of those days where I'm just like, man, I'm at this job that I'm not passionate about. I like have to get up. I only work 4 days a week though. But like I have to get up and go to work. Like it just felt, having so many years being self-employed completely and not having a schedule and everything was up to me all the time. I craved that routine. And then once I got the routine, a lot of things calmed down. But then also I started to have this like boredom. Am I not doing enough? Like my life isn't chaotic enough now. So like is enough going on? But ultimately it has helped because even though it's not my passion, it's not something I hate. I'm at a social media marketing agency. So it's my job adjacent kind of what I do, you know, social media and content and stuff. But it covers my rent. And so that is peace of mind. It doesn't cover everything, all my bills and everything, but it definitely like at least covers my rent. And that's more than I could say a year ago that like I knew my rent was going to be covered every month. So yeah, I feel like it's given my nervous system a second to relax and chill out. And then also still needing to pursue everything that I want to pursue, like as much as I can, because like, okay, great. The comfort and the stability is nice, but still this isn't the place I'm trying to go though. I'm like, I'm trying to shift. So I still need to dedicate a lot of time to the things that I really want to do. So like the kind of the part-time schedule has been working a lot for me and low-key has saved my life a little bit. And before this marketing agency, I was at Starbucks part-time, you know, fuck Starbucks, all that. But it was actually a really fun job for me. And even that, having that just a couple days a week, I have to be there at 7 a.m. tomorrow. I have to be there at 2 p.m. That was more structure that I hadn't in my life, like in years.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you there. I ended up getting a a casual job this last 12 months as well for the same reason because it's really hard on the nervous system when you don't know when your next paycheck's coming. You don't know you know, if you're going to be able to make rent, and there's so much inconsistency that you just literally can't relax. It's such a preoccupation. It drains. It takes a lot of energy to be in that uncertainty and that sort of financial strain for such a prolonged period of time. And also just like the lack of routine. I was like, I don't want to have to like answer to anyone. I don't want to fucking work for anyone. I just want to like, make my own schedule and And it's like, cool, that's great in theory, but like, then I was introduced to decision fatigue and fucking, you know, having to use like every ounce of my discipline and willpower and sort of self-drive and motivation to just like do all of what is required to run a business every day and make my own schedules and make every single fucking decision. And it's like, whoa, where did my hobbies go? Where did my capacity for cooking go? Where did like everything else just fell at the wayside because like there was nothing left over. I had no capacity left for anything else. And so I think there's definitely something to be said for, having a bit of a balance with a bit of routine, bit of a consistent paycheck. Like even if it is, you know, maybe something that you're not as passionate about, it's like it's funding and creating fertile conditions for the thing that you're passionate about so that you can do that. But yeah, I think I really glamorized and glorified being self-employed full time and like that being my main source of income, like all self-driven. And it really fucking took its toll, honestly. So I was just curious about like how it had impacted your mental health and how you managed that. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the capacity thing is real. We do not have infinite capacity. You know, our capacity is very finite, and they're like, you will hit a wall at some point. And I've realized my wall is, I know I've referenced the dishes already, but like really the dishes in my room and like my laundry situation feel like what I can look at to see like how I'm doing, I guess, you know, or at least like, am I getting my bases covered? Probably not. But if I'm focusing on these things that I want to, and then working and then taking care of myself and taking care of my dog, it's like the things that kind of start to fall away are things like keeping up my house, even though I would love for my house to stay clean all the time. You also said, shit, what did you say? Oh, that's right. Setting your own schedule every day also takes so much brain power, more than like, I think everybody glorifies the self-employed life. And it's like, what? You can just go to sleep and wake up whenever you want, which is great and awesome. I love not having a bedtime or a time to get up. And also that schedule is like what keeps me sane. But waking up and it's like, okay, I have the next 8 hours of daylight or something. What can I be doing? What should I be doing? What's the priority here? I need to exercise. I need to feed myself. I need to do the dishes. I need to clean up. But then also, I want to post this content, or I want to film this content, or I have this idea. Where do I start with it? And then your brain just feels like it explodes or it fries. And I was just at, I have friend, or I know this like house of OnlyFans creators. It's like a OnlyFans hub. Actually, technically Fansly, I guess, not really OnlyFans, but I go over there with my boyfriend every year for 4th of July, which sounds wild, and it is wild. But I was over there this past weekend, and this girl showed up who wasn't an OnlyFans creator. She was like a friend of a friend, and she was like so mind blown about the lifestyle. And she works in tech, so she has the most normie job that you can probably think of. Like, she definitely went to college, has a good degree, you know, she probably has a 401k and insurance and all that. And then she was like, it's so interesting how different these creators' lives are than mine. And I was like, yeah, totally. And then she was like, yeah, like they don't even have to work. They just like do content. And I was like, whoa, hey, hold on. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. Don't you dare say this isn't work. Okay, yes, it is not brain surgery. It is not rocket science. All right, like no one's lives are at stake here. Sure, it is still work. You still have to wake up every day. You have an entire 24 hours that you need to figure out what to do with in order to make money, have all your bases covered, and then still have a social life and date if you want to, and go after your hobbies and keep your space clean. Like, it is a lot. So I stopped her in her tracks. I was like, no, I may not be a full-time OnlyFans creator, but I know that what they're doing is work, and it takes a lot of like brain power and time and energy for sure.
Yeah, and like full fucking committing to the bit and ambition and like the amount of fucking admin. Like, people think that the bit that they see is like the work that you do and that's it. It's like, no, like 80% of what you actually do, no one sees. It's all of the annoying bullshit admin and like marketing and all the behind the scenes stuff that, like, you know, a company would have a team for. Like when you're self-employed and you're a content creator or you're an artist, or, you know, you actually just need to wear all those hats yourself, and you need to teach yourself SEO, and you need to teach yourself like hashtag strategy and like fucking content creation strategy. And it's a full-time fucking gig. And yeah, it really grinds my gears, gets fucking sand in my clam when people
so
just kind of dismiss and discount the amount of work that goes in. And like, fair enough, they don't see what actually it takes. But yeah, I'm really glad you sort of stopped her and pulled her up on that, because I honestly think my family just think that I fucking sit around and twiddle my thumbs.
Right.
And yeah, and also when people are like, oh, wow, so your podcast, like, is that your like full-time thing? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
The podcast costs me money. It doesn't make me money.
Right.
This is one part of my fucking marketing strategy, and it's a passion project. It's a body of work. It's me. It's a gift to the community because I'm a fucking activist, and this is my way of like advocating for, anyway, it's like crazy how like misunderstood these industries can be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Drainer.
Absolutely. It's exhausting.
It's exhausting. So something that, like, given that we're kind of relating on quite a lot of elements of this kind of lifestyle and pursuing such a sort of passionate, purpose-led trajectory, I wonder if you'll relate to this element of it. You sounds like you're in a relationship at the moment, but I know like in the past I've seen some of your content talking about like dating and, the kind of dating landscape. I know that for me, I often get asked like, oh, because I'm a sex coach, educator. I massage vaginas for a living, doing yoni mapping therapy, like everything
so
under
great.
that umbrella of kind of like sexuality and empowerment. And so people are like, oh, does that make dating hard? Does that make men intimidated by you? Does that kind of make it difficult to find someone that can kind of hold their own? Because, I make a lot of feminist content as well and get a lot of hate for being, a man-hating cunt. And it's like, well, that's just not true at all. I love men.
Right.
Unfortunately, just throw back to that little line. And so it kind of like, and it does really make dating more tricky in some ways. Like I feel like in one sense, wouldn't have it any other way. It's a really good vetting measure, and there's no fucking way in hell that I can ever settle. However, it does make the pool of dudes, because I'm into dudes, fortunately and unfortunately, who, the pool of dudes that can actually fucking hang with like, a like baddie who's like really passionate about intersectional feminism and like sexual empowerment and female pleasure and everything, like fucking hell, like it is tricky. And I'm wondering, for you being so self-made and such a passionate, like driven human that is like maybe from the outside, like kind of intimidating with like your incredibly impressive accolades and your confidence and your kind of like,
thank you.
Embodiment, like you're fucking embodied feminist baddie. Like, does that make it harder back when you were dating to, to find people that can hang?
Hey, baby babes. Sorry to interrupt. I just had to pop my head into the lounge here and mention another virtual lounge that I'd love you to get around. It's the Labia Lounge Facebook group that I've created for listeners of the potty to mingle in. There you'll find extra bits and bobs like freebies, behind the scenes, or discounts for offerings from guests who have been interviewed on the podcast. There'll also be, hopefully, inspiring, thought-provoking conversations and support from a community of labial legends like yourself. My vision for this is that it becomes a really supportive, educational and hilarious resource for you to have more access to me and a safe space to ask questions you can't ask anywhere else. So head over to the links in the show notes or look up the Labia Lounge group in Facebook and I'll see you in there. And now, back to the episode.
First of all, thank you. It's so like it's so kind and interesting to hear yourself described through someone else, because I'm like, oh, I guess it does appear that I'm killing it at times. Whereas, every day I'm battling like, am I killing it? Am I doing enough or not doing enough? So it's like, it's nice to hear sometimes. But I don't know what made dating hard like before my boyfriend. I actually don't know if I would have called it hard. I just really, so I was married before. And so there was kind of like before marriage, after marriage. I got married when I was 21 and I got divorced when I was 25. And
wow,
I think dating before that, I was so I was raised Christian. I'm not religious anymore, but I was raised Christian, and they really teach you to date to marry. And so I got married at 21. I met a guy who, like, oh my God, I've never gotten along like this with anybody in my entire life. This must just be it. Like, I must have found the person, and like, simple, easy peasy. Apparently there's a lot more to it than that. But
so it turns out, yeah.
Yeah, apparently. So I was like really intense, really fast before then. And then after my divorce, when I started dating again, I was like, I am going to absolutely slow the fuck down. I had a couple slip ups where I got like obsessed with someone really quick or something. But for the most part, I was just like, I'm going to take it so slow and take it day by day and just keep, like, constantly just check in with myself. And then most people I dated, I don't know, like, they just didn't really ask enough questions, or like,
Oh my God.
that was honestly such a big thing, especially when I was dating men. I'm queer, and I've only dated one like non-man. And that was great and nice and really cool. And I wish I could have done it more, honestly. But especially the men, I would just kind of hit a point where I was just like, I just don't rock with you that much. But I don't know if they were intimidated by me or anything like that. But also, if I ever got any sense of negging, do you know what negging is?
Yeah.
Like any sense of negging, I was like, you are out. So like, and that negging honestly may have come from insecurity, like being self-conscious, maybe feeling intimidated. But I didn't really think of that at the time. I was just like, oh, you're negging me for some reason, and that's just absolutely not going to happen. And then I slid in my boyfriend's DMs, and he is like so supportive of me in every single way. He, like, whenever I win, he takes it as a win, whereas I've had exes and ex-friends where I win and they take it as them not being good enough. And I just couldn't hang with that. Like, you have to be supportive of me, and I'm going to be supportive of you in return, but you cannot be trying to bring me down so that, like, you feel better about yourself. That was kind of common. I guess that was like the longest possible way of me saying yes. It was a common occurrence, I suppose.
Hey, this is a podcast. You are literally here to talk and be
That's
as
true.
long-winded as you like. That's why we're here. So yeah, you go hard, Queen.
That's true.
I would love to do the segment Get Pregnant and Die. So, I mean,
Yes.
one thing that popped into my head when you sort of talked about having a Christian upbringing was like, oh, okay, I wonder what your relationship was like with sex and how your sex ed was. Do you have an anecdote about your sex education that you feel comfortable sharing with us?
Don't have sex, because you will get pregnant and die. Don't have sex in the missionary position. Don't have sex standing up. Just don't do it. Promise?
Yeah, totally. I definitely was in the abstinence camp, and didn't really think about it much beyond that. But I was super involved in the church. I was going to youth group, and I was in the choir. Like, I was at my church probably 3 or 4 nights or days a week. And we had our annual sex talk, and I was always like front and center. And I was like, yep, I'm going to have sex one day with my husband because I'm straight and a virgin. Like, and I'm going to stay both of those things until I'm married. Obviously that didn't happen. I lost my virginity at 19. But then, so once I lost my virginity, I was still Christian at the time, but I struggled because I had sex with my first boyfriend and then my next boyfriend. And then I kind of like hooked up a little bit, and then I got married. And then after my divorce is when I like really explored. But it wasn't until after my divorce that I felt like comfortable about sex. There were times when I would like have sex and then roll over and cry because I felt so guilty. Like, I'm not supposed to be doing this, but everything in my body like wants to do this, or this feels so right with this person or at this time. Just like this constant battle. And then having partners that didn't understand if they weren't raised the same way, which most of them weren't.
Yeah.
just like
Right.
trying to talk about my guilt, but then they take it as a personal attack. They're like, oh, well, why don't you want to have sex with me? Are you not attracted to me? I'm like, no, it's not that. It's like God told me not to. So it was really stressful. It was really stressful. And then years later, I was talking to my mom and I was like, you knew I was having sex. You knew I was having sex at 19. We should have had conversations because I was never taught how to say no or how to know what I want. I didn't even know what the fuck a female orgasm was for far too long and for far too many partners. I didn't even know that it was possible to come with a partner like for so long. And so they just kind of did this. They just put you in the dark and they're like, this is how a baby is made. The man comes in the woman or ejaculates, excuse me. The man ejaculates in the woman. She gets pregnant and like, don't do that. But there was no female pleasure mapping. I didn't even know how to enjoy it. I didn't really know that it like could be enjoyable. So yeah, they just did this like shove us in the dark type of thing. And then once you get married, then you'll see how beautiful sex is. And it's like, well, no one is explaining it now. So how are we supposed to wait and then suddenly just our world opens up? It's like, if you're telling me my entire life that I shouldn't be having sex, one day that's not just going to like switch in my brain. That's going to be a lingering feeling. Luckily though, I would say I'm 100% cured. I do not feel guilty at all. And I love sex.
Yes. Fucking preach. We got there. Oh my God.
Yes.
I just can't even imagine like the cognitive dissonance and how icky and stressful and like, holding that guilt and that shame and like your body kind of telling you one thing that feels right and good that you want to follow. Mm-hmm. But then literally thinking you're going to fucking hell. Like, what the fuck? They really don't set you up for success there. And,
No.
And what you said was really interesting about not, and this isn't just I know lots of people that weren't brought up religiously who have a very similar thing, but not really being taught or knowing that you can say no and not knowing how to ask for your needs, not really understanding that like your pleasure is also important and should be front and center of the experience. Like, it's just really sad that not only were you in a position where you didn't feel like you could say no or have boundaries, but also when you didn't say no and didn't have boundaries, you were then feeling incredibly guilty and like stressed about the ramifications of those actions. And like, what a head fuck.
Right. Yes. It like, seriously, it was so incredibly confusing. And I'm still like, I've like shaken all the guilt and all that, but I still feel like, we're always all learning about our bodies for sure. But I feel like I can point to some things that I'm not sure about with my body or insecurities I have or something like that. I feel like I can point to that and be like, yeah, because I lacked sex education, like proper sexual education when I was younger. So I'm like having to figure a lot of this out now because there was no like real exploration in my early 20s or stuff that I was having sex, but I didn't know what was going on or who to talk to or what to ask for. Or, I didn't know any of that.
Totally.
Any of that.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Sadly, such a common experience and basically the entire reason that I'm in the job.
Yeah.
I will remind me to give you login details to my online course. I want to give it to you for free because you probably know a bunch of it, but like you said, like we're always still learning and we don't know what we don't know. And like pretty much everything in there around like female pleasure, we don't get taught. So it could be fun. There could be something in there you're like, thanks,
I love a course. I love a book. I love a podcast. I love learning about this stuff and then bringing it to my boyfriend. Like, we need to try this. We need to try this. We need to try this.
Oh, amazing. Talk to me about like being queer and being brought up religiously. And then at what point you were able to kind of integrate that part of yourself and start exploring that. Like, how has that been for you?
Yeah, I think I had the quintessential queer experience where you look back and you're like, oh my God, I was doing so many like kind of gay things and didn't realize it. Like I was always having crushes on gay guys at school. Like I would have a crush, I would tell a friend and they'd be like, oh, you know, George is gay. And I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? George is gay. And that happened so many times. And then when I got married, I ended up with a bisexual man. So I like, you know, something about me wasn't straight, but I didn't see that, or really, I felt like I didn't have to question it because since I liked men, there was no need to analyze my sexuality, at least, you know, from my view at the time. And then after my divorce, I don't know what shifted in that time, but I remember kind of thinking about it like, oh, I don't know, like now that I'm single and, you know, maybe I like girls. I don't know. I've always kind of liked boys that look like girls. My brothers used to make fun of me in middle school because I always liked the pretty boys. Like I loved Zac Efron with his flippy hair and stuff. And then so I started thinking about it. And then I remember I took mushrooms on like New Year's Eve one night. And on mushrooms, it was just clear as fucking day in my brain. I was like, I like girls. 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 And then since then, I would more identify as like, I say queer usually, but if we're getting to the nitty gritty, I guess more like pansexual because, you know, I know that bi is, people say it's all inclusive of like every gender, but I feel like pan just encompasses it better for me. Like I love a little they, them. I love a they, them. I love androgyny. Just yum, yum, yum. Let me eat them up like a little jelly bean. But then literally after that mushroom trip, I went on to, I can't remember the name of it. It was literally called like Les or something like that. But it's like Craigslist for queers. And you basically just post a bulletin and no, Lex. Maybe it was called Lex. But you would like post a bulletin of what you were looking for. Les. I know, me too. It should have been Les. That was a missed opportunity. I posted a bulletin and I was like, help. I think I like girls, but I'm not sure. I really want to kiss someone to figure this out. Like, can anybody help me? And I got so many responses, which I was not expecting. I got so many responses. They were like, you know, we can figure out if you're queer together. Cause I just like that. Even though I knew that I was queer, I wanted that physical confirmation to like just really confirm it and cement that in my brain. And then so I met one person, a non-binary, they, them, like femme presenting person. Actually, they were not femme presenting. They were assigned female at birth. But like very non-binary, and I loved them. But hooked up with them. And literally the next day, it was like I was running through fields of grass and rainbows. I was just like, I like boobies. I love titties in and around my mouth. like I was telling everyone I could. I like texted my brothers. I texted all my friends. I was like, guys, it's confirmed. I'm kind of gay. I was just so excited. I was so excited. And then I came out to my parents and I was kind of just like, there's only one way this can go. I came out to my parents and my dad was like, cool. Well, you're working on a TV show. Like, are you going to have your main character be queer? So he was like asking questions. And then my mom didn't talk to me for a couple days. Yeah, he was good. And then my mom didn't talk to me for a couple days. And then I texted her, I called her like 4 days later. And I was like, so are you ever going to say anything or what? And she was like, what? And I was like, you better say you still love me. You better say you love me no matter what. Like, you better say if I bring home a female or non-binary partner, you're going to be nice. And she was like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, I was just kind of shocked, and I like needed a second, but like, I get it and we're good now. So, because both my parents also knew if they didn't come correct, that was going to be a problem. And I probably would not be in their life. So it's like, there is one option here and it is coming correct. And they did. And then my brothers, of course, were fine. All my friends, everyone was fine. And then I didn't date anybody after that initial person, anybody who wasn't a man after that initial person. But so I hold that one person, that one experience fondly in my memory.
Oh, beautiful. Oh my God.
I've liked my journey.
I love that story.
Thanks.
That sort of segues to my next question, which is like around because you seem like such an open person and you share a lot of yourself with those in your life and, you know, by extension, those that watch your content. Like there's a lot of you in it and you know, you use your life experiences as material to work into content. And like I feel as though this is something I can also relate to, where it's a rich vein to kind of mine for content, for conversation points, for you know, shedding light. Like this is, in my experience, how I use my life experiences as content, is like to kind of illuminate, you know, things that maybe other people also experience but don't know that, you know, they share that with another. Or it's kind of to be relatable, really, and to kind of be like, yo, like you're not alone in this. I'm experiencing this, and maybe someone that sees this might feel less alone or might resonate with it. And I also use humor as like a vehicle for kind of like making heavier topics more accessible. I know like comedians often use humor as armor sometimes, but it's such a useful tool when we're having heavier conversations or talking about more stigmatized topics. So I'm curious, like, what's it like for you to kind of mine your life for material? And is there, like, what's your journey been with, like, figuring out where the line is between, like, oh, this is funny and relatable content, or, like, oh, this is actually something I haven't processed properly.
Right.
You know, and there's also, like, another category for me where it is such a fine line, and sometimes I'm like, did I nail that, or did I actually think I was nailing it, but I didn't? But the third category for me is, like, this is something that I'm currently using humor and making content about to process, and it's still healthy. It's still fine. It's still, you know, it's not totally unprocessed, just trauma dumping. But like, like what's the line between what you can share publicly, you know, when it comes to like your love life or your relationship or your sexuality, and then is there some stuff that's like off limits?
Excuse this quick interruption. I'm shamelessly seeking reviews and 5-star ratings for the potty because, as I'm sure you've noticed by now, it's pretty fab, and the more people who get to hear it, the more people I can help with it. Reviews and ratings actually do make a big difference to this little independent podcaster, and it's really easy to just quickly show your support by taking that simple act of either leaving 5 stars for the show on Spotify, or even better, writing a written review and leaving 5 stars over on Apple Podcasts. Or if you're a real overachiever, you can do them both. That would be mad. If you're writing a review, though, just be sure to use G-rated words, because despite the fact that this is a podcast about sexuality, words like sex can be censored and your review won't make it through the gates. Lame. Anyway, I would personally recommend doing that right now while you remember, just to get on top of it and let me know you're with me on this journey. Thanks, gang. Enjoy the rest of the epi.
I would say I go pretty far. I definitely toe the line. Partially because I don't have the mental energy or capability to differentiate the two, like things I should share, things I shouldn't share. Like I just can't figure it out in the moment. And like I want to give the most context and have the most fruitful conversations. And that's how I connect with people, is like by sharing my own struggles and stuff. Like I'm happy to talk about like the meds that I'm on, or my mental health journey, or my sexual health journey. Cause like not everyone feels like they can be that open about those things for whatever reason. And since I feel like I can, I kind of feel a bit, not my duty, but like if I'm able to, then why not be that person who like helps maybe some people who aren't able to say those things out loud. I've crossed the line maybe a couple times. I say something and I'm like, oops, like maybe I shouldn't have said that person's name, or, you know, maybe I kind of embarrassed this person or something like that. But I mean, I don't know how to come up with material if it isn't straight from my life, like straight from a lived experience. So And my songs that I do, like my short songs, I used to be a songwriter, like guitar, piano, 3.5 minute song, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, but it just wasn't connecting for some reason. It just wasn't. I would sit down with the guitar and I would get so anxious, and I just couldn't get past that block of being scared that it would be bad, or like trying things out. Like I just didn't have the creative energy after a while. Like I wrote songs for years, and then one day it felt like I just ran into a wall. And then so my way around that has been doing my shorter songs. For some reason, bringing it down to 30 seconds. There's no pressure to write a second verse. It can be 7 seconds long. There's no pressure to write another chorus or whatever. Like I don't have to make it like anything. It can be a jingle. It could be 5 minutes, whatever. Just having that freedom, and like it can be funny, and it can be about anything. It can be about my dog, or it can be about pooping, or like being in traffic, or whatever. It can be about anything I want. It doesn't have to be some serious topic or like fit into an album or anything like that. And that really gave me the freedom to start exploring. And I've actually found, like, the more honest I am with that, I feel like the more people resonate. And then the times when I've tried to say something that's like, when I've tried to breach a topic that I feel like is more relatable, like, oh, a lot of people would go through this. A lot of times those videos don't do well. I mean, there's not really a rhyme or reason sometimes to those, but where I'm like, oh, this is relatable because like people always say this or whatever. And then a lot of time it just doesn't do anything. But then if I get like hyper specific about an experience that I thought only I had, then a lot of the time that like I don't hear a lot of people talking about Chris Brown and like why it's weird that he's still famous, but I always think about it. So I made a song about it, and it was like, why does Chris Brown still have a career? It's fucking weird. And then that video did really well. It turns out there's a lot of people who think like that, but I just like hadn't really found them. But now I have found them by sharing this piece of art based on something I think about frequently. So it's really just kind of what's living rent free in my head. I just have to get it out somehow. And usually it comes out in a funny little song.
Oh, I love it. I feel like, yeah, we're basically the same fucking person, because I'm also just, like it's I've also sort of said similar words to that. Like, I feel like because I can be really open and sort of shameless about sharing personal stuff and talking about these topics. I feel like it's my duty, because a lot of people can't, and a lot of people find that incredibly terrifying. And it's empowering for them to hear somebody else say the things that they're thinking or that they're experiencing, and it normalizes it, helps them feel, like they're not fucking broken. And
yes.
Also, I haven't always been like this. Like, it's taken a lot, and a big whack of self-work to kind of get to the place where I can talk about basically anything without feeling ashamed or embarrassed or whatever. It's been a massive journey. Like, that's, and my journey is why I do the work I do. Like, I used to be so fucked up around sex and nudity, bodies, all of it. And so now that I've overcome the like visceral shame and fear around saying the word pussy or talking about sex or periods or whatever, I'm like, oh my God, I'm making up for lost time. I just got to fucking shout it from the rooftops and like be the conduit for these conversations, because so many people don't feel like they can. Yeah, and it's kind of like tricky sometimes for me to know where the line is, because I'm so open and I'm such an oversharer, and maybe there's a bit of the neurospicy that comes into like my communication style and how much I share. Love that for me, and it has actually kind of backfired a couple of times, just in that, like, I don't know, I want to be so open and generous with what I share, and if it's valuable for even one fucking person, then amazing. But I think in the past I've maybe like involved my ex-partner in like a lot of my content, made funny silly videos and songs, and like did like podcast episodes and things like that. And I like really want to integrate all the parts of my life. I want to have you know, him involved in stuff and no. And then when we broke up, I felt so much shame and embarrassment and like failure, because I was like, fuck, I was so public about that relationship. I was so all in. I was like so fucking in your face about it. And all of a sudden people are going to notice like he's not in my content anymore. Like, oh, where's he gone? Oh, you know, and then I was like, fuck, I'm going through like the most difficult, like horrendously, like grief filled, complex, challenging like time of my life.
Yep.
And I have made my life content to the point where now it's really obvious if I kind of go offline and I'm not sharing things in the same way. And I felt this like immense kind of pressure and this really uncomfortable feeling around it. Took like a good 6 months before I made any content and could like show my face online, and even longer before I addressed, you know, the elephant in the room of like, well, he's not around anymore. I went through a breakup. Yeah. So I was just curious, like, about your experience with, you know, bringing your personal life into your content and whether there's been any backlash or whether that's been a challenging thing to balance. Because it's all great when things are going well and it feels really fun and creative and fun to have all those, you know, elements of your life and the people in your life like kind of integrated and then be able to share that. And that, you know, I saw it as like almost a transmission that I was able to kind of give to others. And then, the like repercussions of that when things fell apart was like very confronting for me.
Right. Yeah, I absolutely feel that. Like, I want to bring everyone in on everything. And like my podcast, Heb Hangs, that I do weekly, I basically just yap about my life for 45 minutes and just like what I've been doing that week, whatever. And so I end up sharing a lot in that way. But I've kind of enjoyed it because even though I don't get a lot of views right now, but it feels like I'm checking in with my pals and just like letting them know how it's been going. But they've, you know, I've talked about my divorce a bunch on there and then dating and then now with my boyfriend. But it is like they've also seen me go through hard things because of that, because I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that person I was dating that I talked about last week. Oh yeah, that's not happening anymore. And now I'm sad. So that can feel a little awkward. Yeah. So I get that. And then my current relationship, I haven't really shared him online a ton. I basically just post him to like my close friend's story. And then occasionally he'll make it into a photo dump or on my story. But he kind of initiated that. He said that he doesn't like to share his personal life online really at all. And so I just kind of followed his lead. I was like, well, I'm not going to be posting my boyfriend a ton if he's not posting me. Like, what the fuck? And but then I've kind of leaned into it and I've actually really been enjoying it. So like I still talk about him on the podcast. And like I'm still pretty open about having a boyfriend and our experiences and stuff, but it's been nice to not like post them to not have people all up in our business. Like it has been nice this time around, because absolutely, like with my ex-husband, he was all over my Instagram, all over it. And so going through, I'm the type of person to delete everything. I know some people leave it up. I delete everything that they're in. So like having to do that was pretty heartbreaking. Yeah. So keeping that slight distance, even though I overshare everywhere else, just not really posting my boyfriend that much feels like the slightest amount of distance that I've or like the tiniest little boundary I've created for myself that I've been enjoying. And then when we take pictures together and stuff, I don't think about it going on Instagram, which I really like. I'm just thinking about getting a nice picture with my boyfriend just to have. And that's kind of been the biggest like shift I've noticed in my brain, which is interesting. I'm not like, oh, I'm going to post this tomorrow. I just take the picture and then I enjoy the picture and that's it.
Yeah. Wow. I think it's important to have some boundaries like that. And I'm feeling it out for myself too, because as someone who I didn't really mean to become a content creator, it just was like almost a hazard of the job, you know, for me to actually, for people to know who I am and what I offer and to maybe hire me, I kind of have to make content, because if you're self-employed, like how else are you going to fucking get it out there? Like this is marketing now. And so sort of fell into being online, having, you know, my face shown, that was a whole journey, very, very vulnerable, had to like really work up to that. And then, yeah, it's been interesting noticing the way my brain works changing, because all of a sudden, like, you know, in content creation, like, it's like, yeah, you just got to like document your life. That's how you build authenticity and trust and connection with your audience and all of this. So you just, you know, this is how it makes it more sustainable, rather than always having to make content specifically and schedule it and strategize. Like, you can actually just document some of your life, and that will feed the algorithm and keep it happy. And so now it's like, because I've been doing that for so many years out of necessity, because I'm self-employed and I need to get business coming my way. And to do that, I have to please the algorithms. So I've documented things in my life and shared a lot of personal stuff. But now it's like the lens I see things through is so fucking content focused that like I'll be having a private personal moment and be like, oh my God, I wish I'd recorded that. That would have been great for the podcast. Or, oh my God, we've got to get a quick video and I'll put this on my Instagram. And everything has to be fucking documented with the lens of like, this is for content. And I don't think I would be nearly as much on my phone filming and snapping stuff if I wasn't now kind of driven by this like content robot brain.
Right.
And I kind of resent it, but it's also like an outlet for creativity a lot of the time. Like it is like, fuck, it's so complex. I'm like, I hate it, but I love it. And it's kind of cool and creative, but I'm a slave.
Yes. No, it's absolutely that. I mean, as you were saying, I was thinking, yeah, but it's also art. It is also art. I totally know what you mean about the like, oh, I wish I got that for content, or like, I wish I could have just enjoyed my ice cream without thinking, oh, I should have filmed me trying the ice cream, whatever. So like, I totally get this push and this pull 100%. But then also, I love writing down weird shit that people say in conversations and like remembering that for a character later or something, like more so if I'm like working on a script or something like that. I have taken like full conversations that I've had with friends and put it in scripts, and made the mistake of sharing it with the friends, and they didn't really like that. And I was kind of just like, too bad. You said it out loud to me, and so I'm gonna take it. Like, and I wasn't really asking for permission, but they didn't really like it. They were like, oh yeah, just, you know, when I say things, I don't really expect them to be in a TV show. I'm like, yeah, for sure. But I'm telling you right now that I am a writer. And I need to draw my inspiration from somewhere. So like, I will take things that you say. I will. I'll never identify you, but I will take things that you say. Yeah. So it's like, it's the constant push and pull of like, oh, this would be fun to create something like this, or this would be fun to put in a script or talk about on the podcast or make a video about. And then also, oh yeah, I want to just enjoy my life for the sake of enjoying my life. It is such a hard balance. And it's just always, I don't know if we're ever going to strike that perfect balance. It feels like a pendulum. You know, sometimes I'm not on my phone for weeks and I feel really good and in the moment. And then other times I'm like so committed to making lots of content and streaming, and like I'm doing nothing but being online. It's just, I don't know, it just like kind of comes and it goes.
Yeah. I feel like I'm the most conscious or self-conscious about it when I am in the presence of friends who really, really scorn content creation and being on phones and all of that. And I feel like a fucking loser for getting my phone out and, you know, but I'm like, dude, like this is also my job, and it is also a creative outlet. It is art. The way that I, you know, look at things now has a lens like overlaid. But so do, you know, if someone's studying film or screenwriting, they're going to also have a lens that overlays everything they experience, and they're going to be being like, oh, fuck, that would be a really great angle or a great scene. Or like, you know, a photographer would be like looking at things through this lens of like, it's their art, it's their expression. But I feel like, yeah, this tension point of like the sort of like shame and embarrassment about being a fucking, I don't know, like, you know, influencer in the wild, whipping the phone out, versus like, this is actually a big part of my life and the way that I make money and the way that I express myself and help people. And, you know, so it's cool to talk to someone who really like understands that push and pull. Do you have a TMI story for us?
TMI, we love it. TMI, we love it.
Yes, I do. Well, this is kind of for myself because I've kind of destigmatized sex talk in my own life and like body positivity and stuff like that, but pooping is still really hard for me to talk about. So I'm gonna give you a poop story.
I literally did an entire episode on hilarious poo stories like a few months back. So, if you want to desensitize yourself, just listen to that because fuck, they're funny.
That's incredible. Yeah. I really admire people who can just like talk about it. And they're just like, oh, I just went and took a poop. I'm like, oh my God, that's great. But like I said, I used to work at Starbucks and we all know what coffee does. Coffee, will, if there's anything ready to go, it'll get it going. And I was working at Starbucks, whatever, got a coffee to go. And in the 6-minute drive from Starbucks to my house, while I was drinking the coffee, I fully pooped my pants. I just was sitting there in the car, like with my hand over my mouth, just going, oh no, like actively pooping. I was just like, you got to be kidding me. And I got my entire ass in the shower, clothes and all. I got everything in the shower, immediately did laundry. It took like a while to like get everything sorted because like, I don't know if you ever pooped yourself before, but it's a mess. It's not fun.
Oh my God.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
And that happened in like literally the 6-minute drive.
Oh, I mean, those are the days you're kind of grateful that you're self-employed, right? Like at least you went on your way to like work or you didn't have a meeting because that's like, that's a solid hour to deal with that, especially if it gets on the car seat. It's like a whole other surface area to take care of. Like it's a bit of a commitment, shitting yourself. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's a whole commitment. You gotta like plan your day around it. You can't have anything else going on.
Oh my God. Fuck, so good. I'm proud of you. Good on you.
Thank you. I'm getting better.
Yeah, just gets easier. Just immersion therapy. You just have to talk about poo, and one day, before you know it, it just won't even be a big thing.
Yes, and my friend has really been helping me because we went camping together with like 6 people, and it's like you get really close and personal when you're camping because like bodily functions, and you're in the woods and whatever. And I kept saying number two, and she just every time goes, you can say the word poop. And like they've said that so many times that like now I could just be like, hey bro, I pooped. Like I could just say it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Hey bro, I pooped.
It happened. Everyone poops, everyone poops.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It'd be weird if you didn't, as someone else has said to me one time. It'd be weird if you didn't.
It'd be downright unhealthy if you didn't.
Exactly.
There'd be something wrong.
Exactly.
To wrap it up, is there anything that we haven't spoken about that you kind of feel like, mentioning? Maybe, your TV show that's coming up, something that you want to plug. Yeah, anything like that.
Well, okay, I have 2 things. One thing that is more related to your podcast, and then one is more of self-promotion. But related to your podcast, I would just like to announce that I have been sober from vibrators for about 6 weeks now.
Nice.
And this is coming from a vibrator addict. And that's obviously not to say that people are not supposed to use vibrators. Obviously, that's not what I'm saying. But me personally, I felt myself getting desensitized, and it was really hard to give myself a break. But we're going on like 6 weeks now. So proud of that.
Oh my God, yes. And how's it been going? Like, have you kind of been able to resensitize and come without it? Has it been difficult?
Yes, I really didn't expect it to work that way. But it went from like maybe 30 minutes of manual masturbation to like 10.
Epic.
Yeah, I can't believe the difference. I'm just like, I'm very proud of myself for being sober off something that's so good for so long. And that's not to say I'll never pick it up again, but
Yeah, but it's a sometimes food, you know? Like, I love that you're
Yeah.
saying vibrator sober. I've never heard that, and I love it because, yeah, it is kind of addictive, and you sometimes do need to go cold turkey to like reset your baseline, and that's something that
Yes.
is pretty controversial, especially in my space. Like, you know, a lot of people will be on your fucking tits about it if you're, you know, naysaying vibrator use or porn use or whatever. But I'm like, guys, like these things were never meant to be used to the degree that they now use. Like we're becoming dependent, we're becoming desensitized. Like this isn't natural. But like people will be like, oh my God, you're like shaming people. You're so sex negative. And it's like, no, but as a professional, I fucking see hundreds of people who have vulvas that are really feeling like disempowered and a little bit like confused about where to go from here because they've been addicted to or dependent on vibrators for so long now that it's impacting their fucking sex life. They can't come with a partner. They can't come without it. And it's like, well, that sucks. We don't want that. So yeah, I literally have like in my online course, there's like a whole thing about like, you know, like getting off that dependency and learning to come without a vibrator. Yeah, so this is very on brand. I'm glad you mentioned it, and fucking go you. Power to you.
Thank you. Your course sounds so interesting and good, so I'm really excited about that.
Cool.
And then in the self-promotion realm, I've been working on this TV show called Either Way It's Toast for the last couple years, and I've wrote a pilot and I pitched it around and nobody has wanted it. So I have pivoted at the moment, and I'm now making a web series called The Co-Workaholics. And we're going to be crowdfunding for it next month because I want to like get people paid and make it worth their time and make it like a real production. So, but that shit is expensive. So if anyone would like to donate to the cause, you know, even sharing it on people's stories, you know, I think it gets you like a shout out or something on the Kickstarter. But yeah, it's like about a co-working group that meets up every week and they yap about their lives and yap about a specific topic. And every episode will have a song about that topic sung by me.
Yay.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
So that's what I'm
awesome.
working on right now. I'm very excited about it.
Fuck yeah, babe. That's so dope. I can't wait to see
Thanks.
it. Oh, how fun. Oh my God. It's fun working on like a big project. I feel like
Yes.
something we were talking about earlier with juggling a lot of different balls in the air and having a lot of different projects and streams of creativity and income and like output. It can be really discombobulating, jumping from one thing to the other. Like, you know, in the one day, you might do like 10 different things. And like the times that I've been the most like content, inspired, productive, happy has been when I've been working like my online course. It's a 3-month course. And I spent a year making it, like building it, planning, filming content, gamifying it, all of that. And it was so much work, but because every day I got up and I knew that I was going to be working on the same project, picking up where I left off yesterday, and I didn't have to make 21 decisions about where I was going to place my time. I was just like, cool, I know where I'm going. I'm working on the one thing day in, day out. It was actually fucking sick. It was so good. I was like, what the fuck? Okay. So yeah, like you being able to really just like pour a bunch of energy into, you know, the TV show, the series, like I imagine that'll be a really rewarding, enjoyable process. So I'm excited for you.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. It's actually what got me to stop being so miserable after work. Cause the whole like, oh, like my job is cool, but it's just not what I want to be doing. And like, where should I go? Having a big project, like you said, that I can work on in my free time, that I can work on every day has gotten me so excited. And I got the okay from my boss to work on it at work, and she's actually helping me with it. So I can like kind of weave it into my day if I finish up my work early or whatever. It's like, cool, I have a couple hours, I can work on scripts or whatever. And yeah, it like has revitalized me. It's such a good feeling.
Fuck
I'm scared as hell. I'm very scared. I'm scared it won't be good. I'm scared we won't meet our crowdfunding goal. Again, I'm scared it won't be good. but the only option is through. So
yeah, you got to do it. You've got to fucking do it. Yeah. Do you have, and you can say no, you can go. Do you have like 3 more minutes to hear about my version of that that's about to take place?
Yes, please.
Hey, me again. If you'd like to support the potty and you've already given it 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening on, I want to mention that you can buy some really dope merch from the website and get yourself a Labia Lounge tote, tee, togs. Yep, you heard that right. I even have Labia Lounge bathers. Or a cute fanny pack if that'd blow your hair back. So if fashion isn't your passion, though, you can donate to my Buy Me a Coffee donation page, which is actually called Buy Me a Soy Chai Latte, because I'll be the first to admit I'm a bit of a Melbourne cafe tosser like that. And yes, that is my coffee order. You can do a once-off donation or an ongoing membership and sponsor me for as little as 3 fat ones a month. And I also offer one-on-one coaching and online courses that'll help you level up your sex life and relationship with yourself and others in a really big way. So every bit helps because it ain't cheap to put out a sweet podcast into the world every week out of my own pocket. So I will be undyingly grateful if you support me and my biz financially in any of these ways. And if you like, I'll even give you a mental BJ with my mind from the lounge itself. Saucy. And I'll pop the links in the show notes. Thank you. Later.
Yeah. Just because as you're talking, I'm like, oh my God, I'm also terrified and poised to embark on a bit of a project. So I'm about to begin a campaign called Find Freya a Fella. And it's like I've been doing a bunch of content around dating and the dating landscape and how it's changed with the apps and like this nonchalance culture, which I don't know what it's like in LA, but Melbourne is fucked. Everyone in my age bracket that is left dating is either just avoidant as fuck or wanting a situationship or just like doesn't remember that it's cool and okay to make effort and to show interest. There are like a lot of people that are very terrified of asking people out, of meeting in the wild. Like there's all of this stuff that I'm very like passionate about talking about. And I kind of want to use my life and my journey to try to find love as content and document that because like so that I can kind of make commentary on the dating landscape and like what's broken, you know, and I want to like Find Freya Fella campaign will be all about boycotting the apps and like getting really fucking creative and proactive about finding connection in the wild and like getting back to how we used to do it, you know, like in third spaces and out and about. And I want to empower other people to like get on the journey and send in their stories about creative ways that they met someone or asked someone out. I want to encourage and inspire people to like shoot their shot in real life and like find like quirky ways to like ask someone out or approach someone. And yeah, it's basically going to be like primarily a campaign where we talk a lot about like the dating landscape and like build a bit of a movement around boycotting the apps and like kind of empowering ourselves to take matters into our own hands and like remembering how the fuck to connect in the wild. And then, you know, part of that will be like, me basically being like, yo, I want to find love. This is me. Share this, post it, tag your single friends. People hit me up to go on dates. Like I want to like make an example of myself to try to, try to tackle this thing. Cause like I'm fucking tired of it. And yeah, it feels intense. It feels so vulnerable and so hectic. And I'm definitely not going to be documenting the actual dates and the men that are involved because I've learnt my lesson and fuck that. But yeah, I want to use like the campaign as a vehicle to like have conversations around something that I've noticed a lot of people are experiencing in my kind of age group. And I mean, altogether, like most people have never asked anyone out in person. Most people would never approach someone. If they think someone's hot, they like don't make eye contact, you know, like we've kind of gone the opposite of like how we're designed to be connecting with each other. So yeah, I'm going to get like, try to get some like sponsors and have giveaways and like do a bunch of fucking shit and run a big singles mixer at the end of it. And yeah, but it's feeling really, really scary and vulnerable. And I don't know what it's going to look like. But yeah, I just figured I'd give a little plug because by the time this episode comes out in a few weeks, I will be officially on that journey, putting shit out into the world. And I'm like, oh my God, what if I don't find love? What if everyone's like, fuck, this is lame and embarrassing? And, you know, all of those little insecurities are popping up. But I just feel like, you know, someone's got to do it.
Yes,
So may as well be me.
love it. I love it. I love taking it into your own hands. That sounds like such a fun project that like will fulfill you creatively and personally, because like you're going to be working on it. It's like it's a job kind of. You need to problem solve, and you're producing this whole thing. And then also you want to meet cool people, and you will meet cool people. And you're taking it into your own hands. You know, I threw myself a dating show a couple years ago. So you are in good company. I am all for this. I am all for taking it into your own hands and just straight up being like, I would like love. Here we
Please
go.
and thank you.
Yeah, I'll be here on this day at this time. Show up or don't.
Oh my God. Is that somewhere
that's cool.
online that we can watch the dating show that you threw yourself? Oh my God.
It's
epic.
it's called Hooking Up with Heb.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna hunt that down and put it in the show notes. And when I start the campaign, I'll be putting a bunch of different content that I find around this topic of like dating and being creative about it. And you'll be a fucking poster girl. So
yeah, yay. That's really awesome though. Good for you. A big project that's kind of scary is the most fun and exciting thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
And also scary.
Yeah. So, I mean, talk to me in a month's time and I'll see if I'm fucking surviving. But, yeah, it's happening. I've officially committed to it. I have,
That's exciting.
Thank you, babe. I appreciate that. Yeah, you might get some teary DMs from me in a month's time, but I appreciate the support. Oh my God, I've loved this chat so much. Thank you for being so generous with your time and with your life and experiences. And I feel really connected to your journey and your mission and how you show up in the world. So I'm really glad we did this.
Yay, me too. Thank you so much for having me on. This has been great.
And that's it, darling hearts. Thanks for stopping by the Labia Lounge. Your bum groove in the couch will be right where you left it, just waiting for you to sink back in for some more double L action next time. If you'd be a dear and subscribe, share this episode, or leave a review on iTunes, then you can pat yourself on the snatch, because that's a downright act of sex-positive feminist activism, and you'd be supporting my vision to educate, empower, demystify and destigmatize with this here podcast. I'm also always open to feedback, topic ideas that you'd love to hear covered, questions or guest suggestions, so feel free to get in touch via my website or over on Insta. You can also send me in TMI stories to be shared anonymously on the pod. My handle is FreyaGraf_the Labia Lounge, if my account hasn't been deleted for being too sex positive, which, is always a possibility with censorship. But just in case the chronic censorship finally does obliterate my social channels, I'd highly recommend going and joining my mailing list and snagging yourself some fun freebies for the trouble at www.freyagraf.com/freebies. Anyway, later, labial legends. See you next time.